Avery, whose show is this? And we're live. Welcome everybody here to the Lakers Lounge Podcast. I am Anthony Irwin, Senior Lakers Insider and lead Lakers content creator for Offside. Joined on this fine, what is it, a Tuesday night? It's a Tuesday night, right? Tuesday night by, well, technically it is Wednesday morning. We just crossed that threshold here where I am recording from. So,
right.
No, I'm kidding. For the vast majority of you guys watching this thing, it is a Tuesday night still. The Lakers just beat the Denver Nuggets in Denver. And I am joined by Raj Chapalu, also a fellow Offside colleague of mine. And Raj, there's going to be plenty to talk about over the course of the show. A lot having to do with this game. I found it a really interesting game, even given some of the disclaimers and caveats that existed going into it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I really, really, really want to start with, and by the way, rate, subscribe, comment, notifications, all that stuff. I want to dive right in. What I really want to start with, Raj, is how angry beating the Denver Nuggets apparently beat the Nuggets blog boy universe out there. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, yeah, well, you guys are going to lose in the first round. It's like, I know that the first half was going a certain way.
Yeah.
And I know that the second half went in a very different way. But it's super weird how, like, whiny they got over this one. Did you notice that too? Because I feel like they got really whiny about it. Oh, the referees. Come on,
I have not noticed it, but it is. I think this is Rivals Week, and Lakers Nuggets is being put on.
I know that the NBA is trying to call it
That's
that.
what they're calling it.
Celtics didn't. No. The Lakers and Celtics didn't play, so it's not rivalry week.
Okay. Well, it's two teams that have been in the playoffs 2 of the last 3 to 4 years, or whichever it is. Yeah. So there's some, bad blood that gets built there. There's some animosity that picks up when you play a team in the playoffs that many times. And the trauma, obviously, of watching Jamal Murray do anything on the court, let alone score 26 points in a first half. So it's nice to get a win against the Nuggets. I know Jokic didn't play. Austin Reeves didn't play on our end. Not that those are similar cards, but still, like this, both teams are missing a player that they rely on. But I think Denver's a good team. Like, even without Jokic, they've been playing really good basketball. And to me, this is one of my favorite wins. So it's nice. I did not see the group of Denver people who are upset, have not been online yet after the game, but no, this was super fun, and they are right to be upset. Like, the Lakers winning in Denver probably doesn't feel good to Nuggets fans.
That's fair,
and nor should it.
Well, here's my thing though. It's like, and look, like Dan Wojcicki saying like this has to be one of the top wins of the season. That doesn't help. Like, we don't need to go that far.
But he's right. He's correct.
Well, we don't need to go that far. But what I would say though is that, like, look, the season that we've had so far to this point, and I'm not telling Nuggets fans or people who cover the team, and the blurred lines in between there, that they need to care about the season that the Lakers or you or I are having or covering. Sure. But for, like, because this is the thing, there's going to be people in the chat who are Lakers fans who are going to be like, yeah, they beat the Nuggets, but they didn't have Jokic. And my question to Lakers fans who feel that way is like, why? Why
are you adding the context?
Super fucking frustrating. like, we haven't seen Austin Reeves play in like a month. Like, yes. Like this season, we have, LeBron James's agent is shitting on Austin Reeves for some reason. Like, it's been a super annoying season. Let's just enjoy this thing when it happens. Can we do that? Is that okay? Can we just sit here and enjoy the Lakers winning in Denver against the team, an organization, frankly, that has had the Lakers number for the last few years? I'm just going to sit back and enjoy that.
Yeah, me too. I'm going to enjoy it. This isn't the pod for this, but, we've all expressed our, I guess, frustrations with the team, with, in terms of what they need. I've been following basketball closely since around 07, 08. I don't remember a team, Anthony, that's 10 games above 500 that gets talked about the way the Lakers do. Their record does not, to me, match the overall outside conversation around them. They get talked about like a 500 team. This team's 10 games over 500. I know you can contextualize the wins, you can contextualize the clutch time.
The point differential is that of a
Point
500.
differential, sure. All those things get into the conversation
Yeah.
of the team. But I feel like they have Luka Doncic and LeBron James gets whispered. Like, that's like, but did you see Gabe Vincent miss 7 threes? Like, yes, Gabe Vincent missed 7 threes, but they have LeBron James and Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves, who's not here. I think the conversation around them has gotten a little bit strange. But in any case, yes, this is a very fun win that I want to enjoy.
Do you want to have a separate podcast on a non-game night to where we could talk about that? Because I do think that is kind of an interesting topic.
Yeah, we can do that.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's talk about this game though. The Lakers beat the Denver Nuggets in Denver, 115 to 107, being the final. The top story to me in this one, Raj, is what the Lakers did to Jamal Murray in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of what they were able to do to Jamal Murray in the second half was aided by the fact that the Denver Nuggets did not have Nikola Jokic. However, I don't give a fuck. Like, I just really enjoyed watching Jamal Murray really struggle in that second half. The Lakers basically threw everything at him. And it was really weird that wasn't the game plan from the start. Like, it was really odd that they started the game in a zone. Yeah. And they were kind of like playing super conservative and kind of sort of giving the Nuggets the outside shot when the Nuggets were playing with a starting group that is designed to knock down outside shots, right? Like they start Aaron Gordon at the 5. They could start Zeke Naji, but they start Aaron Gordon at the 5 and they spread you out and they knock down open 3-pointers. And the Lakers were like, bring it. Knock down as many of those as you want. And the first half wasn't going very well, Raj.
What are you going to do? Stab me? Oh, darn.
Yeah, right. What are you going to do? Knock down open throw? Oh, okay. All right. That's what you're going to do. But then in the second half, I thought they were a lot more aggressive. I thought they really tried to set their own tone and basically set the terms of engagement in this one. Or in the second half, and basically told everybody who was not Jamal Murray on the Denver Nuggets tonight, y'all ain't shit. And so they took the ball out of his hands and they basically forced anybody else on the Nuggets to beat them, and nobody else on the Nuggets stepped forward to take up that challenge.
Yeah, and I think a big part of this too, DeAndre Ayton had his eye poked in, which sounds like one of the most painful things in the world, did not return to this game. But I do think Jackson just brings a little more athletic juice at the center spot, and he was awesome. I thought he had a crazy verticality play against Aaron Gordon. They let Aaron Gordon, by the way, get away with whatever he wants on a lot of stuff, especially those poster dunks. You should see Jackson's face after all that. But they didn't give him the foul on it. So, but I thought Jackson's athleticism to me changed kind of the way you could
a lot of little like shoves on, like in the lower back, like in right above like the waistline.
Yeah.
And I, like anybody who has ever played basketball before will tell you that completely changes the way that you can shoot a layup or a dunk. Yeah, like and that's if Raj, you or I give that little shove in the lower of the back.
Yeah.
If it's Aaron Gordon shoving the lower area of the back, your day is ruined.
Right. You're not getting up that high.
The Lakers, like it's really rare, Raj, that like you and I can watch a game and notice the specific type of call that the Lakers are getting annoyed that they aren't getting. And basically, anytime the Lakers were shooting a layup or a dunk, the Nuggets basically said, all right, if I am contesting from behind, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. So it was the shove in the lower end of the back, the foul across the back of the arm, like whatever it was, they just basically said, like, they aren't calling it. So here we go. And the Lakers, I guess at one point, had a conversation at half court with the referees that went for so long. Aaron Gordon eventually joined in, which is kind of funny. But it was certainly a little. I found myself annoyed with the ref. I often do, but I found myself annoyed with the refereeing because it was like let them play. No, back off. Too physical. Let them play. Oh, we're going to go another little stretch here where we're going to call a bunch of touch fouls. And I think that's where NBA players just get kind of annoyed. It's like, just keep it consistent. Give me give me a strike zone that I can identify.
Right. Yeah. And look, the Lakers have lost, well, mainly Luka has lost all benefit of doubt with officials. Like they're not going to give him a single thing. Any 50-50 type call will likely not go his way, which again, something he's going to have to play through. And honestly, a reputation that he's like earned, right? He has 13 technical fouls, 16 gets you suspended. So he has 3 more left. But just going back to the defense, I thought, again, being able to blitz Jamal Murray, I thought LeBron's defensive engagement was fantastic, and his ramp up has continued. And I think that ramp up is seen on the offensive end, kind of offensive colored glasses. But I think on the defensive end, his effort has ramped up as well. Second half against Toronto, tonight again in the second half, just became a defensive, I thought, monster, blowing up a bunch of coverages and actions, switching on Jamal Murray, going out to Aaron Gordon, closing out on Aaron Gordon, and then knocking it off of him. His defense was great. And then Luka, I thought, had a competitive, real fight on the defensive end. And for him, like the gap for Luka from Trae Young level defense to tonight's competitive kind of, I'm just at least going to compete. I think that's a huge canyon gap for the team's defensive goals. Like if Luka can at least, he doesn't have to be Kawhi Leonard, prime Kawhi, but I thought tonight you saw like he fought, he was getting a lot of contested defense. He always rebounds well, but fighting, for those contested defensive boards, and then just playing solid traditional defense. Even if you get beat off the dribble, at least, he fights, puts his hand up, contests. I thought he was good. And then Jake, Smart, Rui, even, I thought all of them really competed. You're not going to hold a team to 30 points for a lot of nights in the second half. Like there's some luck mixed in there, but I love the process of everything that they did in the second half. And I thought the defense is something at least they can take that effort and move it, on Thursday against the Clippers.
Well, they're heading out on the road, and defense, when you play it consistently, travels better than outside shooting did, right? And like you mentioned Rui, and this is honestly one of my kind of more favorite Rui games because he didn't shoot the ball very well. What did he finish? He finished, 4 of 13 from the floor for Rui, 1 of 3 from 3-point range. And I thought he was, very active defensively. Actually picked up a rebounding foul, which, like,
it's fair.
I'll take it. It's just like play with any kind of force in any other regard than scoring, especially on a night where you aren't shooting the ball very well. And like JJ Redick finished the game with Rui instead of Jake, or not finished the game, but like had Rui out there for a long stretch of that fourth quarter when it was still kind of, the game was still being decided, basically instead of Jake. And I thought it was the right call. I thought, I thought Rui, I think he really kind of likes this matchup. I think he likes playing against Aaron Gordon. It's somebody that, he can kind of wrestle with a little bit without feeling like he's going to foul. So I watching Rui, one of the things that I really noticed is he does not like getting into foul trouble. And I think, because that means less minutes, less shots and stuff like that. You could always, like, the through line with Rui is always like, what impacts my shots?
Sure. Yeah.
And so, like, if he picks up too many fouls, he's not going to be on the court to take those shots. But like when you play against somebody like Aaron Gordon, who is wrestling and referees allow him to wrestle, I think Rui kind of likes to play in that kind of a spot rather than go up against smaller guys who he thinks he's going to get fouls called against him. And I thought tonight, I think he kind of stepped up to that kind of physicality.
Yeah. And so Rui mentioned, I guess, after the Toronto game that he's still on a minutes restriction, but I feel like 20 to 25 minutes feels like a nicer sweet spot for him than the 32 to 35 or whatever that he was playing. It was going to take some time for him to kind of get used to the bench role. Again, I think playing with one of Luka or LeBron versus both of them really allows him to just be a little bit more like, how many games have we seen Rui run like full court for post ups? Like that's just, you don't see that very often, but I think off the bench, he has more room to be the kind of low man especially next to a guy like Drew who can space the floor for him and things like that. But yeah, I've liked the bench kind of role for him, and I think that's a place if he takes the opportunity the right way, I think he gets more shots off the bench. He can get 10, 11, 12, 13 shots up in a unit that's really asking for offense versus when he's with the starters and he has to kind of wait and sit in the corner, wait for the ball for a lot of his possessions. So now Rui was good, and he's never going to be a great defender, but I think like tonight, just effort and hustle, and I thought all that stuff he brought in this one. So we'll see if that continues. But I like him off the bench right now.
If Rui brought that stuff consistently, he wouldn't be in the trade machine as often as he is.
Yeah.
Like if this was the caliber of defense and the level of effort in some of those small things, like Rui would have honestly, he'd have his extension already. Like there'd be no reason to trade him. There'd be no reason to go out and you combine his ability to shoot, maybe not the volume. Like I still would kind of like to see the Lakers go out and get somebody who shoots at his level with greater volume.
Yeah.
But like, give me that. Like, if you have Rui with his shooting ability, also focused on some of those smaller things, like that's a guy that you build with for the future. Maybe he doesn't fit as well with a Luka LeBron team, but LeBron's not going to be here forever. And I wouldn't hate the idea of keeping this version of Rui long term for after LeBron. The problem is that like we just don't see kind of this version of Rui very often.
No, he believes he's in the league because he's scoring, and he's not wrong. Yeah. That's why he got his 18 million whatever year contract. But I think just to add to that, he's not a movement shooter at all. I think that is like I was thinking about this the other day. I don't think he's improved offensively since he's been traded here. Like I feel like maybe he's gotten better as a spot up shooter, but the guy we got from Washington is pretty still close to the guy I feel like I'm watching today on the offensive end. And so there hasn't been like an ad of a movement shooting or like his off the bounds game hasn't really taken another level. Like all that stuff feels like it's plateaued a bit, but this player is still a good player. Like it's not a guy you just give away, but yeah, I think that's kind of the concerns, the long-term fits, I guess, for Rui.
I'm sorry. I see this chat here at the bottom. Would you guys do Dalton in the second round pick for Khalil Ware? And the Miami Heat weren't including Khalil Ware for Kevin Durant, so I don't think they would give him up for Dalton in the second. I'm sorry, user paying whatever. But so here's to kind of backtrack a little bit. This is a point that I did want to make, and I did kind of roll my eyes at like best win of the season kind of stuff because it's like that's why Lakers fans get dunked on. But what I do
we lower
think
the rim.
is what's that?
We lower the rim. We allow. Come on over.
It's like one of my favorite like random little notes, because remember back in the day they used to sell like DVDs for championship seasons, right? You would be able to go to like Best Buy and there'd be like a 2002 2003 season DVD, right, or
all the interviews.
Yeah, it was awesome. I used to love those things. And
love the 09 when I bought the DVD.
Yeah, like one of the DVDs that they had was of one of the championships, or the championship, I think, that DJ Mengo was there for.
Okay.
And it's like his teammates used to call him DJ and banged on because he got dunked on so often. And I feel like if you're calling this like the win of the season when the other team doesn't have the best player in the world, that's DJ and Benga just standing up like, by the rim of bring it on, guys, give me your worst, But what I will say though is that like what I really enjoyed about this game, Raj, was there was a lot of fake shooting in that first half. And in games past, like in spots like this before, when the other team was knocking down just ridiculous shots, most obviously the Jamal Murray 3 at the end of the first half from half court, right? I swear to God, these fucking Nuggets only make these shots against the Lakers. It's like that like
soul crushing.
Those like Nikola Jokic, like
Oh
soccer
God.
throws.
Don't
Like
ruin my night. I even forgot about those. The samba or shuffle or whatever the shot that
how
is.
could you forget about those? Those are like etched into my brain. But anyway, like the fact that the Lakers basically took those haymakers in the first half, right? The Nuggets are throwing in everything.
Yeah.
And Jamal Murray closes out the first half on like a 9 or 10-0 run, basically. And you have like Peyton Watson going into halftime with his arm around Jamal Murray, and that whole arena is rocking, and you're just like, oh, God, all right, well, this isn't going to be great. And then, like, to the Lakers' credit, they kind of chipped away. They chipped away. They chipped away. And then they went on, what was it, like a 13-0 run in the third quarter, and really made it a game. And then, I thought really importantly, took the lead quickly after that 13-0 run. Like, the worst thing you could ever do is get down by a bunch, get it to like a 1 to 3 point game, and then hover there, never quite get over the hump, and then you run out of energy by the time you actually do have opportunities to do so. The Lakers got over the hump quickly, and then I thought kind of stomped them out relatively quickly afterward. But to your point, like, if you do want to look at this as like a great win, within the context of like the way that the game was played itself, not given the guys who were available, but given the momentum in this game, like I'll grant you that one. I'll give you that one.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think also it counts how a team is playing, right? It's a little different playing a team after they won consistently and are feeling good versus you play a team that's lost, 4 or 5 in a row, and kind of, you can kick them while they're down. But Denver's playing well, playing confident. Jamal Murray, I think, has, to me, played, as one of the best guards in the league. Like, he's been awesome this year when he's been healthy, and I think he showed that in the first half. This game, to me, though, Anthony, like, I remember we're almost coming at the anniversary of this, but I remember when we got Luka Doncic, like the combination of Luka and LeBron together, I thought their playmaking would compound in a way that I feel like just on a nightly basis, you don't see it as much.
Yeah.
I thought tonight, those dudes being superstars, like they read the moment of the game beautifully. Like Luka Doncic read, like, oh, these dudes are hitting everything. I need to match this right now. Like no one else, like I can't rely on anybody else. And he did that. Step back 3, mid-range, and one. Just kind of, no, we're right here with you. Like you guys are hitting crazy threes on one end, but I'm going right back at it. And I thought LeBron, to your point on the Lakers made the huge run, and then I think Denver went up 5. And LeBron's like, no, like we got to get the lead right here. And I forgot which play. I don't know if it was his free throws or someone's, but he took over, hit a like little jab step 3 to cut the lead, I think back to 2. And then the Lakers went up and kind of rolled from there. But both those dudes just being like top X players in the league, I thought this is one of those games where you really felt that, or even as good as Denver played, it really felt like Jamal Murray and friends versus LeBron James and Luka Doncic. And that's something that just now with LeBron ramping up, Luka in better shape than last year, and the newness of the team from a year ago, I think you're seeing these games more. Like I saw that versus Toronto as well. I thought the Atlanta game showed some of that, but yeah, I thought tonight a lot of that too, of just 2 supercomputer guys, and it's almost unfair. Like you have LeBron and Luka running crunch time offense on one end, while Jamal Murray's like, where do I go? Here you go. Like here, Peyton Watson, do something with it. It's just that difference was interesting to watch, and I think that's why the Lakers are 14-1 in crunch time. You can joke about those numbers and call it luck or whatever, but I think that's one of the reasons they have freaking 2 top 2 to 3 playmakers ever running stuff in crunch time. And I thought you saw that as well tonight.
Well, that's like one of the points that Domin and I made in that offside video that I tweeted out earlier today, is like, this is supposed to be the thing that makes the Lakers like special, right? I think it was on a podcast with Pete a little while back where I said every team in the conversation for the championship this year are the best at something, right? You have the Oklahoma City Thunder, might be the best defensive team ever. You have the Denver Nuggets, who might have the best 5-man lineup in the sport when they're all healthy. You have, the Detroit Pistons have some of the best rim protection in the sport. And you can kind of go down the line of teams that are in that conversation. And I thought that if the Lakers wanted to be a part of that conversation, it was going to be because of the stuff you're talking about, right? That it's not your turn, my turn, but your turn leads to my turn being that much more, that much easier. And I'm still at that level, right? And that's between LeBron, Luka, and Austin. And when they're all healthy. And I would have liked to seen more of that to this point. What I actually thought, Raj, to your point about like rising to the moment of the game when they sensed how it was going in that second half when the Lakers were trapping Jamal Murray, LeBron got involved in some of that too. And it really reminded me of what he and the Heat did to Derrick Rose in that series. When Rose won the MVP that LeBron clearly thought he should have won. And it was just so mean to watch that live while it was taking place. It's like poor Rose, like he didn't vote for himself. Like it wasn't his choice, and I thought in the second half there were a couple of possessions where LeBron got involved in it. And, look, when you have Luka kind of single-handedly offensively keeping the Lakers in it, and then you have LeBron putting his foot on the Nuggets' throat in that way defensively, and then you also have the way that those two guys can execute in the half court offensively. They were doing all kinds of trapping and stuff like that, and I thought the Lakers did a good job of spreading them out and then finding out ways to get the ball into the middle of the defense. And that was just those guys, figuring out the Rubik's Cube on the fly. And I, credit to the coaching staff as well. But watching LeBron get after a little bit defensively like that, I am leaving myself in terms of like macro level faith in this team here moving forward. I will, like, one of the last vestiges of that hope that I'm like kind of holding on to is that LeBron is just kind of like saving some of that energy for when he really, really, really needs to go there. And I think tonight they saw an opportunity to win a key road game against a team that tiebreakers are probably going to matter with. And I thought he got after it tonight defensively and threw some of those pitches, those 99 mile an hour two seamers that you need to throw. And that was kind of fun to watch.
Yeah. It's incredible to watch him. And I was thinking about this. There's never been a player who's gone through this many 82 game grinds while like still having the ability and the mind of, so like he can he's not just planning out games, he's planning out seasons, which is trippy to think about. But he's like looking at the schedule going, all right, here's like where I give 70%, now 75, and now it's 80. But now like this night might need 92 from me, and then I gotta park it back. It's like it's a weird calculation or like a interesting calculation that he's doing. But you're right, Anthony, he's playing back-to-backs. Like there are stars in their 30s not playing back-to-backs in the league right now, which I think is a larger
Herb Jones
issue.
hasn't played a game in a month other than the one against the Lakers.
Right. Yeah. Zion doesn't play back-to-backs. I believe Joel Embiid doesn't play back-to-backs. Paul George, I think, doesn't play back-to-backs. Kawhi Leonard, I think, started playing a few of them. But this is a 41-year-old guy going.
He had to be he had to be rushed home from the road trip. Yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah. After the one.
Yeah.
But LeBron looking at this going, hey, we're 2 games back of the 2 seed. I see an opportunity here. This is a Denver team without Nikola Jokic. Like, I'm going for this. Played the back-to-back in Portland and Toronto. Could have easily sat the Portland game, I'm sure. So no, this is a guy that's 100% sees the moment, also sees the all-star break finish line, right? That's one of the lines that you cross. It's like, hey, let me run through this one before again having to a ramp up period. But no, I'm with you. His defense has taken another step. They said he's averaging like 27, 9, and 9, like just get out of bed numbers for him again. You mentioned the Chicago game. I was watching the Heat Spurs for some reason, got into a YouTube kind of rabbit hole. And I was watching like, this is cool basketball. Then I just realized this is still LeBron James. Like he's still doing those. Like all these other guys, Ray Allen, Mike Miller, like just long gone.
Tim Duncan was filmed in like black and white. What was he? What?
Like Tim Duncan now has like never been seen around, barely gets
Chris
seen.
Bosh was on the panel tonight, Raj.
It's insane. I saw Jamal Crawford. Jamal Crawford was calling the game. I'm like, dude, like these guys were like way younger than LeBron when they started. But
Yeah.
no, it's amazing what he's doing.
You know what else was pretty amazing, Raj?
Hmm.
Luka. I mean, like, look, I cannot stand the way that he talks to referees, and I think it really does impact the way that he gets refereed at times. Like that one, the foul that they called on the floor.
All
You
right.
know
Yes.
that the
Yeah.
Lakers really didn't like. You know what that was? Fuck you. You're not shooting free throws. You know? Ah, damn it. You're in the bonus. Like that's like that. I'm sorry.
It's actually 7 fouls now. Sorry, we changed the rules right now. So
It was like that happens, I would say once every few games or so, maybe even once every other game for Luka, where like he whines so much over the course of the game that eventually a referee's just like, no, you don't get free throws for that one. You should, but you're not. You're not going to get free throws for that.
yeah,
And like I do think that is a bit of a problem. I thought his whining played a role in that run at the end of the first half. But that said, he is still insane to watch. The shot making that you're watching from this guy on a night to night basis is not normal, you know. And we're two dudes, Raj, who grew up watching Kobe,
hmm
and who like is hailed by his peers in you know, like probably above all reasons for his ability to knock down difficult shots. And Luka is just the ways that he knocks down some of these shots and like the ways that it breaks the players who were guarding him, you know, the ways that it just like hurts them on a personal level. Like there was the one shot that he made today that Peacock actually highlighted where he was guarded by Tim Hardaway and he gets into the paint and he you know just very easily slides a floater over Hardaway that like kind of bounces around on the rim a little bit and then drops in, and he's just kind of like giggling at Tim Hardaway Jr. on the way back down the court, and it's just like I you know, I thought he rebounded really well tonight, right? He grabbed 13 rebounds, had a triple double right tonight. He dished out 10 assists as well.
yeah,
To go with his, what did he have? 38 points on 21 shots. Like that was, and this to me, Raj, is where I agree a lot with the point that you made earlier about like the ways that the Lakers are talked about versus the way like the actual production or their record, you know. But in this case, in Luka's case, I do kind of I have some friends obviously out here in Dallas, and then you know Kirk also works for Offside, somebody I've known for a long time, and they've always kind of said that the way that people talk about Luka nationally is a little weird. And I'm starting to like recognize some of that weirdness. Tonight was just an incredible game. I have my problems with the ways that he talks to referees and stuff like that, but that was
sure.
a fucking incredible game that he just played tonight. And that should be like the story. It probably won't be, but that should probably be the story from this game.
Yeah, no, he was. I agree with you. I think we've become very desensitized to these type of numbers, right? The 30, 10, and 8. He also has these big scoring first halves where that's not even a big story anymore, where Luca has 22, 25 and a half. And that's kind of just brushed off as like that's what he does. I think players like Luka, you don't compare them to their class, right? You compare them to what their potential is. And I think that's fair. The greats, that's what you do, right? I'm not comparing Luka to, some regular guard in the league or some all-star guard. I'm comparing Luka to the potential of being the best player in the league, which I think is the potential he has. So that's where the criticism come. But I do think like national conversations around him, or even sometimes locally, the conversation is a little bit too much of what he doesn't do when every night he just carries your offense. He's a walking top 5 offense of himself. There's levels to there's a 32, 9, and 8 game, which also comes with 8 turnovers sometimes, where the impact of that isn't what the numbers
Yeah.
say they are sometimes. But tonight, I'm with you again. I thought he was masterful. I would love this to be a shot diet more often. I know he took 9 threes, but I think only 2 of them really felt like, he was chucking or heat checking.
Yeah. He had the
A
one air
lot.
ball. His first miss of the game was kind of
Right,
like
but that
yeah.
miss came off of, I think, movement where he came off a screen or something or on the corner. Like, I think there's better shot dies for him. He's such an amazing mid-range scorer that I'd love to leverage that more. I always thought we would get. He likes playing Denver, first of all, I think, because him and Jokic are friends, so there's something there. But Denver has Jamal Murray, which is a very easy entry point of offense for LeBron and Luka. I think
Yeah.
both of them just are able to really create offense consistently, and that's one of the reasons people called me crazy. But I like our matchup with Denver, and in ways that
Why,
I'm
man?
gonna slow down. I'm just mean, like, I think we play them better than sometimes some of the other top teams in the league. I'm not saying we would be favored against them, but I think we match up a little bit better just because of what our offense is capable of in terms of
If
what
that
they.
gets clipped, that's your fault. Like, I'm just telling you right now that
That's fine. I'll live with that.
if those DNVR guys like
Sure,
grab that clip,
come at me.
that's your fault.
I'll take
You
it.
said we match up well with Denver when they have absolutely owned the Lakers the last few postseasons.
It was a completely different team. Like that, LeBron AD team is completely different from a Luka. Like, that's built differently. The offense is run completely differently. I'm not saying we would win against them. I'm just saying, like, I like our
It's
matchup
gonna
with
be
them more than the
Nikola
general.
Jokic against DeAndre Ayton in a playoff series, and you're like, yeah, give me that team.
I didn't say give me that team. I didn't say I'm not saying I'm hunting for them, Anthony. I think the matchup though gets thrown out a little too quickly. And I think we played them well a few times when both teams haven't been fully healthy. I think we've only been fully healthy once in the last few matchups. The Lakers won that one in Denver. That was one of Luka's first breakout games. But in any case, yes, this was an awesome game. Luka was amazing. But we'll wait for the playoffs before then.
Well, all right. What I will say though about like this matchup that I do find interesting is, like you mentioned, Jamal Murray is an entry point for the Lakers offense that the Lakers that LeBron and Luka like to really kind of pick on. LeBron was so mean to Tim Hardaway Jr. tonight. Like, I feel like whenever LeBron was on the court and the Lakers like needed a bucket, he was just like, "Oh no, I'll just put this dude in a locker. Hold on." Like poor Jamal Murray. Like, you have Luka picking on him, and then LeBron's picking on him. He couldn't make a shot tonight, and he was just like, he just looked so sad on the court. And this is the most of those guys that Denver has had, because Bruce Brown isn't quite the defender that he used to be. Christian Brown is going to get a lot more of those minutes, which is going to impact some of like how the matchup is going to look as well. Cam Johnson isn't somebody that LeBron typically picks on, though I think he can. Cam Johnson's pretty skinny. But like, this is probably the most like, because the Lakers don't have D'Angelo Russell, and like D'Angelo Russell has basically become Luka Doncic, and like, yes, Anthony Davis has become DeAndre Ayton, which is certainly concerning, but that that's a pretty giant swing going from D'Lo to Luka, and
you don't say.
like, yeah, right, like, yeah, I like, I'm trying to help you make your point about like how different this matchup looks,
100%.
especially from an offensive standpoint. Austin, I think, is better obviously now than he has been in previous matchups as well. So I don't feel as hopeless going into a series against them as I did like years past. But still, like, I would much rather they and OKC be on that side of the bracket.
We don't run.
The Lakers
Anthony.
be over here.
We don't run.
Stop it. This isn't the Kobe Powell Lakers. This isn't LeBron and AD in 2019 and 2020. This isn't the three-peat Lakers where those teams could have taken on anybody. It didn't matter who they played. This team is not those teams. I
No.
do need to kind of like game my way through the playoffs with this squad right now. Let me game my way through the playoffs that way.
Sure. Yeah, you can game your way. Go ahead. But another point, like we had this conversation a lot during the AD LeBron, but I always thought like against Denver, you have to be able to score. Like, yes, defense, you got to guard, but they're gonna score at such a baseline, right? That if your offense can't get cooking, you have no shot, no matter how well you defend Jokic. He's gonna get to 35, 12, and whatever and shoot, 50, 40 from the field. So you're gonna have to have guys that can match his scoring punches. And I think Luka's one of the few guys, and there's not many. They're probably on one hand that can go toe to toe with Jokic in an offensive battle, right? Like, okay, like you score, I score, like we can kind of keep each other at bay. And there's not a lot of guys in the league that can do that. That's kind of where my confidence kind of comes in. Then obviously you throw LeBron and Austin in there, and you feel like those three in a playoff setting can kind of match an offensive punch of any team. Now, there's other things that are concerning. You mentioned the Aiton's defense and all that for sure. But just
Everybody's defense.
Yes. Although tonight was,
Well,
let me enjoy this.
My one, yeah. I mean, like I am going to, after I ranted and raved about like how like let's just enjoy this win. I'm not. You know what? I'm not going to make the point. I'm not going to make it. There's other nights that I can make it. There are other nights that I could point out that the Lakers wouldn't be able to trap Jamal Murray if Jokic is on the court. Like there are other nights that I guess
it's another night, is it?
I'm not gonna make that point. I'm just like, there are other nights that I could. I just won't do it right now.
Good.
But yeah, I really enjoy the Lakers offense when it's diverse. Like,
sure.
I just do not know if there is a team in the NBA that can, and to your point, right? The point that you just made a second ago, I just don't know if there's a team in the NBA that can keep up with the Lakers offensively when Luka and Austin and LeBron are compounding each other's creative abilities. That's the like, and again, I don't know if it's a matter of holding cards close to the vest. I don't know. It's a matter of the lack of reps. Well, I do know that has played a role in this too, right? Is that those guys haven't gotten very many reps together. I do think also that like roster makeup has made it so that it's kind of difficult for those guys to do that on some nights, right? They need more athleticism. They need more shooting. They need some of those things as well. But we saw it against the Hawks. We saw it a little bit in the second half here tonight. Like when two or ideally three of those guys are on the same page and they are making each other better on the offensive side of the floor, there is just not much that you can do, and that's why it's something that a point that I keep coming back to when I'm not seeing it, is because like it is so vital for the Lakers to be able to do that more frequently than they have so far this year.
And we got some nice news that Austin should be back during the road trip. And that I'm really excited to see, because I think Austin's taken a leap this season, obviously continued from last year, but LeBron was nowhere near this LeBron when Austin was playing, when Luka and Austin were playing together. And I think that's the next like ceiling for this team, right? Obviously you want to improve in trades and, whatever you can get at the deadline. But I think just seeing this LeBron next to a humming Luka in Austin, LeBron's like quick twitch and motor and just conditioning is just on a different planet than it was, when he came back in mid-November,
Yeah, totally.
which was to be expected. But
yeah,
just when Austin went out, LeBron's ramp up, which is kind of the like that's like it was right there. Like LeBron's ramp up was going up, and then Austin gets hurt. It's like, and now the team has been kind of hovering around 500 basketball since then. But that's what's to me super exciting about this team. To your point, I think that's JJ's main job the rest of this year, finding stuff where all three of them are threats at the same time versus two of them being placed as kind of spacers for one person to kind of cook and operate alone in the kitchen. So, but that's the exciting part of the season, is that still is something to be unlocked.
I just realized that the little I brought my allergies have been so bad, Raj, that I brought an air purifier into my office, and it has like a fan on it that's a little out. You can't hear it, can you?
I cannot. No.
All right, good. It's loud, like it's right over
Okay.
there, and it's it's humming. Yeah, I Omar is asking about this, right? Where's the utility plays? You can't run utility plays with three guys if those three guys are not playing
Right.
at the same time. They have not played very much together. And that dates back to the preseason too. So that's another thing worth noting. Last thing before we dive into the starred comments here, because it's been a fairly recent development, something that has kind of started before you and I have recorded a podcast again recently. Drew Timme has
Yes.
been like legit fun to watch. And I think two things make him as effective as he has been in the minutes that he has played. One, motor. That dude is a crazy person. Like the way that he runs, like the way that he moves is just different than DeAndre Ayton and even Jackson Hayes. Like his feet are just so much more active, and Maxi Kleba, right? Also, like compared to the other guys in that size range, in that position range, his feet just move so much faster than the other guys. And that I think has really kind of helped set him aside from them. But I think far more important, Raj, what has made him as effective with Luka, with LeBron, with Luka and LeBron, like it's reaching the point here where I actually think like I think should take. He's basically been taking a lot of like Jackson Hayes's minutes and maybe a couple of Rui's here and there as well. But I think he should maybe start taking some of Aiton's minutes. And the reason that I want to see that is this dude makes such faster decisions
Oh yeah.
than
Processing speed.
everybody else in that position range and maybe even across the roster. Like it is so fast how quickly it kind of, I saw the comparison was being made to Marcus Gasol earlier today on Twitter. I think that's a pretty apt comparison. I think a lot of it is like big, tall, white guy, but like also I understand where people are going there. I love watching Drew Timme in LeBron lineups, in Luka lineups. I would love to see him in Luka LeBron lineups.
He's
Or
been
even like, okay, imagine what it'll look like when he'll be out there with Austin and LeBron.
yeah, his processing speed is incredible. It's I think that's what's allows him to play. I know people aren't really following South Bay like that, but I remember when they got Drew, I was talking to Zach Guthrie, who's the coach. He's like, well, the regular Lakers, they have to play. Each team has to play through their strengths, right? He's like, the Lakers are playing through Luka Doncic and LeBron James and Austin. He's like, we have a big that we play through in Drew Timme, and they were like, well, that's who we're playing through, and he was the guy that was the point forward, point center,
Potato.
yeah, right. Apt comparisons, yes. 1-to-1, apples to apples. No, but no, like I think like that's the reason he's able to play, and I think JJ tried to make him a center at first, which makes some sense, right? Be this backup 5, but I love him at the 4. They play him next to Ayton. He can play next to Jackson, as you mentioned. And he just gives size. And you were talking about how his feet are faster than Ayton's and Rui's and things like that. He's just not stiff. Like there's a fluidity to his game. He was poor Tim Hardaway Jr. because he's another guy that was victimized here, but like he backed him down and they just spun and scored.
Drew Timme was also picking up.
And just like smoothly finished. And like,
did Tim Hardaway Jr. play with JJ Redick? I feel like they might have.
I'm not sure, but Tim Hardaway has the greenest light I've ever seen. Like, I'm not sure one of his shots were open. He just like he caught it. The contester, the defense was there, and he still took a 3. But no, Drew has been really fun, and I think like I'm with you. I don't think he's losing his spot anytime soon. He's too skilled. He shot 30% from 3 in the G League, but I think that's the whole point of having a G League affiliate is that a guy can go down there and practice and get comfortable taking those shots. And now he comes in the game and he's not scared to shoot. He's took around 5 threes a game there, and now you could see that translate. But no, just having a guy that rebounds and does all that is super helpful.
Tim Hardaway Jr. did play with
On what team?
JJ Redick on the Dallas Mavericks team in 2021
Yes.
and 20 or
Oh, wow,
2020, 2021.
Yeah. Okay, so Luka.
So it was
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Redick's last. Yeah. So I kind of wonder if like JJ was like, you know what, this stupid young guy like kind of took some of my minutes. Everybody pick on that guy. Go get him.
Yeah.
But no, like he was like, you talk about like natural entry points, and I thought that the Lakers did a good job of attacking Jamal Murray, but also like that's how you get a shooter out of his rhythm. And like if you kind of look at it as like a body blow, like if you look at a basketball game as a boxing match, and each team is a boxer, if you take a shooter like Tim Hardaway Jr. out of a game, that's a body blow, right? That's now a punch that boxer cannot throw. And I thought that the Lakers, like picking on Tim Hardaway Jr. to the extent that they did, like if you ever watch like UFC, right, and you'll see one fighter just kick the front leg of the other fighter a whole bunch, and eventually like that fighter can't quite plant on that leg in the way that they want to. Like that's basically what it like why you always hear, color commentators during games say like, oh, they're going at the shooter. They're going at the shooter. They're going at the shooter. Those are the body blows that a team throws over the course of the game. And tonight, like they a whole bunch of body blows at Tim Hardaway Jr. in ways that honestly felt mean. Like it felt a little personal at times.
Yeah, and again, I just didn't understand his shot selection. And I think this is just the way he plays. But he would be a maddening player to watch. Like that dude was not open once.
He is.
I don't even know how many.
I have Mavericks fans friends, and they don't exactly miss him.
It's such a fun role to have, though. Like you just go in and you do what you want. Like you don't have to respect the offense. Nothing. He catches and he just shoots whenever. It must be a very fun role to play.
My coach in high school, because I was a pretty good shooter, always wanted me to be that kind of a shooter, and I was incapable of it. Like it takes like a certain mentality to be like willing to shoot like that, and it's a bit of a skill. Like I kind of respect it sometimes when I see it. But also, like your teammates hate you. Like,
like that's just the sidebar of this.
Yeah,
like, your
like,
team just gonna hate you.
or like they hate you when you're not on fire. Like they just
which like Tim Hardaway is a good shooter. He's not Klay Thompson. So like I think a lot of nights it looks like this. So it's just like, dude, like
the ball's like in the air, like on the way to Tim Hardaway. You're like, oh.
There's one play like he pump faked and
like
he pump faked. The guy like did not jump. He was like right in his airspace, and he decided just to shoot it anyway. And I remember Billy Mack was like, "What?" Like,
he's like that. He's like that friend who, like, in college, you go to a bar with, and you're like, "Dude, those are 10s that you're like, what are you doing?" And he's like, "One day, all I need is one, and I'm a made man." You're like, dude, you got us kicked out of like 4 bars. Stop. All right, let's go ahead and dive on into the comments. We have a super chat, which means I get to play this bad boy. I played that because that was me chasing my daughter around the golf course all day today. Like that was like
I knew that was coming because we played Jokic, so I was like, "There's a Kirby one coming."
Oh, really? You saw that?
I saw that coming.
Man, my bad. All right, well, I don't feel bad. All right, Ryan Lucas is asking, MPJ and Sharp is the move. Luka, AR, MPJ, Braun, and Sharp. and then I think he followed it up with a comment later is like, who's stopping that lineup? All right. So I have heard that the Lakers are kind of sort of in on MPJ, just kind of kicking the tires right now. I don't think it's anything very imminent or that the two sides have had any, like formal or pressing conversations. The Lakers have scouted Sharp in the past. Sharp shares an agent with Jake LaRavia and Austin Reeves, so he is definitely on the Lakers' radar. I think he probably should have been more on their radar last year than he was. At the time of what deal did they make with Brooklyn? It was a Dorian deal.
DFS.
Yeah. Yeah, like they probably should have pushed for Sharp and instead pushed for a guard, right? They got a guard
in the DFS trade. I think they just got.
didn't they?
They just got Dorian in that
What
deal.
the heck? What am I thinking of? Who am I thinking of?
Might think me think of Shake Milton a while.
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What wasn't he in the DFS
Was he in
trade?
the same deal? Am I?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just remembering.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He was in the. He was. Thank you. Thank you,
Okay.
chat. But yeah, like they should have. Basically, the Nets were kind of surprised that the Lakers didn't pursue Sharp more fervently, and they were like, well, "Sure, yeah, you can have Shake, all right." And then oh man, volley Shake's non-guarantee that the Lakers wound up not using anyway. Oof. Anywho, but yeah, the Lakers, they I don't know that they have enough to get Michael Porter Jr. He's going to be pretty pricey. He's having a career season there, and you could make the argument maybe the best volume 3-point shooter in the league this season. At his height. And his rebounding ability would solve a lot of problems. The Warriors, I know we're kind of sort of in on him. I don't know what the Warriors are going to do now that the Jimmy Butler thing happened. But yeah, I like, and I'm also a big fan of Sharp. I really really like how physical he is. He knocks down threes. I don't know that it's as pressing a need now that Drew Timme is taking some of those minutes, does a lot of the same things, maybe a little less physical, but yeah, I like both of those players, and I wish that the Lakers were more in on Sharp last season.
Yeah, I would like Sharp. I think we do need a bruising type of big. We have that. We're using Vando in that role right now, which I think has had some.
He started the game with a foul, Raj.
I don't mind that.
He played 0 minutes and picked up a foul.
We need some of that.
0 seconds and picked up.
There's a level of aggression on the perimeter that is just not there for most of the team, and I don't mind one foul. Yes, again, that makes my point. It's a good foul then because it was a flop. But MPJ is the one where I like him as obviously he'd be a nice movement shooter. I think we're missing that. We don't have one player other than really Austin that we run movement sets for, and he would be like a dream for JJ Redick. Like all of JJ's plays that he had for Dalton stash
that he drew up for Dalton in the moment they drafted him.
Right. Can all move to MPJ. I don't really like putting another negative defender that makes X that he does into the starting lineup. And you're not getting Brooklyn MPJ, you're getting Denver MPJ, which is a good player, helpful, but I think the defense stuff starts to go more to the surface when you're not feeding him the touches that he gets in Brooklyn.
I just always get nervous about guys that championship caliber teams just say goodbye.
But they turned him into Cam Johnson, so that's kind of the part where it's like that's a really good player. They got.
They wouldn't have felt the need to at his exact same position.
Yeah,
now maybe they regret it. They might regret it because Cam Johnson, frankly, MPJ has been a lot better than Cam Johnson this year. Right. Cam Johnson forgot how to shoot at the beginning of the year, started to figure it out, and then got hurt.
But he's such a
So
better
maybe
team
they regret
defender
it a little
than.
bit.
But
But
his defense is on a like in a different place than MPJ, right? He's a better
yeah,
team defender, fits their style a little bit more. I think he's still been solid for them even with the shooting struggles. But MPJ is interesting. He'd be probably one of the better players that's available. But yeah, I just have concerns putting another guy where teams go, oh, the buffet line gets longer. Like there's more, or how does buffets work? Like they added more food, to the buffet. Let me go and get. I haven't
like
been
they
to a
opened up
buffet
the
in a very long
seafood
time.
wing. Like it was like, all right, there's the prime rib one, there's a salad bar.
Right.
Whoa, they have charcuterie too. Like how about that? Yeah.
Were you a big buffet
Um,
guy? I was never really like that much into buffets.
Raj, you're setting me up for failure here. Like, look at my face. Am I a big buffet guy? What
No,
are you
but like some
talking about?
people don't like buffet food. Like they find American
It is a little
buffet,
stale. Like
right? Or hometown buffet, excuse me, is like kind of not.
oh, my dumbass coach in high school one day took our team to a hometown buffet for like a pregame meal.
Mhm,
And so we go to this hometown buffet is our pregame meal. And
mhm.
the guy who was starting over me got food sickness. So he's like throwing up before the game. And my coach comes to me, he's like, all right, man, you got to start. And I was like, sucks to suck. um, that's all I can ever think about when it comes to hometown buffet. Vegas buffet, like I can't do hometown buffet. I can't really do Golden Corral, like those kinds of places. But I like like a good like Vegas hotel buffet, like Mandalay Bay, right, has like a
Yeah,
good buffet that like you go to, and the food's like relatively fresh. Their
yeah.
seafood
I,
is
I,
legit.
I
All
just
you
feel
can
like
drink wine.
I never eat it. Like I took my mom to one of them. I don't remember if it was the Mandalay buffet one or whichever one, but it was like I think it was like 100 and something a person buffet. Like, all right, we're gonna enjoy this buffet. And I
Yeah,
think we both got like 2 to 3 plates and some dessert. And it was like, this not we just did not eat enough at
you
this
can't do that with your mom though.
yeah, I guess so.
Like
You need
you're
like
not like if you go with like a bunch of dudes and
all right,
everybody is just like it becomes kind of like a competition, then you get your money's worth. But you're not going to
okay.
get your money's worth with your mom.
Yeah, that's true.
Because then
It's
you're
not like
like, all right, mom, you got your second plate. And she's like sitting you watching your fifth. Like, what?
like devouring crab legs. Yeah.
Yeah. She's sitting there like sleeping next to you. Hold on. I haven't got dessert yet, mom. Sorry. Like it's not gonna work out.
That's
Do you
true.
feel the
Yeah.
same way about like all you can eat sushi then?
Sushi, actually, I like it more, and that's one I agree with you. You need like 4 or 5 people to enjoy it, really. Like, I think if 2 people
Yeah.
go to all you can eat sushi, I don't think you get the money's worth. But I think if you get like 6 to 7 people and you're all sharing a bunch of stuff, that's when all you can eat
Yeah.
sushi is like way more worth it. But no, I'm a big sushi guy. But yeah, just buffets in general to me, I not the biggest fan of.
I get nervous about all you can eat sushi because it's like if you had good fish back there, you wouldn't be giving it all away.
But they
You
know,
know?
like they're calculating the like you're gonna be full with the rice on like your second to third. Like most people don't even get to the third round, I believe. Like most people stick on like the second
It's
round and
lack
they're
of
done.
commitment, championship
Yeah,
mentality.
quitters.
There used to be when Jen and I were in college, we lived in Fullerton, like right on the
Mhm.
border of Fullerton and Placentia, and there was a all you can eat sushi restaurant, like literally right around the corner from us. And they used to have all you can eat sushi, and it was $1.50, like big, like mugs of beer, right? And to your point, like they're doing the beer for a reason,
Right.
you know.
Right.
They aren't doing all you can like they aren't giving out wine, like
Right.
they
Right.
aren't like they're sake. But so they had that deal, and it was like $30 a head to go in and do all you can eat. And we used to walk from our apartment right around the corner to Makiyaki was the name of this place. And we would walk in, ravage that building, walk home, and like by the time you get home, like the rice is settled and expanded,
Oh,
and the
yeah, it's the
beer
worst.
has kind of And so like I remember one time we went and I was like, babe, I just gotta lie down. Take it to the bed, lie down on my back in my like living room in the spot that our like wall unit AC was like
Right.
hitting. And it was just like, I'm just gonna stay right here for a bit because we were supposed to go out that night too. And Jim was like, babe, we're supposed to be we're supposed to be downtown in like the next half hour. So you better get your shit together. And I'm like, okay, yeah, here I go. But that's the commitment. That's the commitment. RoboCop. Do you guys like soju? Raj, have you ever drank soju? I've never had soju. I was actually literally thinking about this last night.
Soju's good. That it's dangerous because it doesn't taste like alcohol. It's just like really fruity, and so you can take a lot of soju shots without kind of realizing what's going on. But no, soju's really good. You have never had soju before?
Mm-mm.
Wow. Okay.
What's the difference between is it the difference between like because I've drank sake a lot, like hot and cold sake, like in flavored like stuff like that, but I've never had soju. Is it
Yeah,
like
I
it's
mean,
more of a liqueur, right? Sake
yeah,
is more like a wine, and then
I
soju is
think
more of a liqueur.
I believe so. I'm not too well versed in this. All I know is that it tastes really good and it and it's an alcoholic beverage. That's as far as my knowledge on it, but it's very good and it goes really well with sushi. And so yeah, and they're not too pricey either. Like at least at sushi restaurants, you can get a full bottle for a good amount
Yeah.
and share it around the table. So no, soju's really good. Yeah.
RoboCop, I gotta say, shouts to RoboCop here because they provided a question that had me asking you about alcohol. That's got to be a first.
That's crazy. As a guy who went to a bunch of sushi spots and you didn't have soju, that's surprising to me.
No, I've because the all you can eat sushi place that we had in college, I didn't have a whole bunch of money, so $1.50 beers were right up
Mm,
my alley. And then as I got older and I had a little bit more money, I just preferred red wine. Like I'm not kidding to you guys. I like to those of you who listen to Locked On Lakers and have kept listening to the show throughout, up until like the last or from like the last like I'd say 2-3 years to now, it has basically just been red wine. I don't really touch anything else really. And like when before I used to I still make great cocktails for New Year's a few weeks back, right? Had a whole bunch of people here at the house and was in charge of like made a big pitcher of old fashioned and didn't touch any of it. Like that's not really my vibe anymore. But I would try soju just to say I've tried it. Like,
yeah,
All
I
right.
recommend it.
Here's the deal, Raj. When we're in Vegas,
Okay, we can have
we'll
soju.
go and we'll do a nice sushi restaurant. We'll get a bottle of soju, and
We'll
we
do that.
will record an episode of this show shortly thereafter while I'm lying on the ground of my hotel room.
Yeah, we'll recreate your college days. Yeah.
All right, Fred, we're supposed to record in a half hour. All right, hold on. Let me just get my shit together. All right, everybody.
I
That
think
is
you have
going to do
one
it here
more
for this.
that
Do we?
you didn't. The Slava Med.
Back up at the top? Oh, we do. Very at the top. Good job, Raj. Great win. However, we can't fully judge this team until the return of Slava Medvedenko. That's my favorite Lakers name of all time.
Did you watch him play? Like, do you
Yeah.
remember? You did? Okay.
Yeah.
How would you? Because I've heard like the Cam brothers bring him up sometimes in different situations. What would you describe his? Yeah, I never watched his game.
Well, he would be better now than he was back then because he was like
Okay.
a bigger dude who could shoot a little bit.
Okay.
He was. What would be his closest comp? I would say not a great facilitator, right? So like he's not like one of those like Shangoon types, he's not a Drew Timme.
Okay.
Because Drew can pass it a little bit more. I would say like would be a good comp for him. Maybe like Portis, Bobby Portis. I think Portis is a better player, but like in that mold,
Gotcha.
like
Okay.
a 4/5 who could shoot it a little bit, but genuinely one of the worst defenders I have ever seen.
Oh, I thought you were about to say positive right here. I thought you were like, oh, he's generally one of the best passers I've seen, or something like
No.
that. Like, no, this guy is one of the
Like-
worst defensive players I've ever seen.
My dad and I used to call him Slobber Medvedufus because it was just like, God, man, like what? How did you mess up that rotation that badly again? Did you see the play today, where I think Aaron Gordon got a dunk and LeBron was the low man,
Right.
and
right.
he was just like, and he was like comically still, right? Like he
Yeah.
he recognized that like he had screwed up, and he was just like, that was solid Medvedenko defense. Like that was a good play by Medvedenko defensive standards.
Right. Okay. Well, averaged 5 points a game for his career, around 5 points.
What was
season,
his 3-point shooting numbers like?
Okay, 3-point percentage. He shot about 15% for his career, but did not take
15.
Yeah, he took like less.
Threes.
He took like less than 0.1 a game for like
Well, I
3
guess
seasons.
Back then, like floor spacers was long twos,
Right.
So like he would step out and knock down like 20 to 22 footers,
Right.
which
But he has
you would
3
think
rings.
Yeah. But you would think like in today's game, right, they would have him take a step further out.
Sure.
And I think I would say like, yeah. Or Markieff Morris, like that kind of blend. How tall was he? Is he like 6'9"?
He's 6'10".
6'10", yeah. So he's like a big dude. So
I wonder if like these type, like obviously I don't think he ended his career of this, but like he won 3 titles his first 3 years in the league, and so that must like change the way you view just the NBA. Like after that, it's like, oh man, these next 4 years are tough. 3-peat, right? Walking in the league is crazy.
A funny thing to think about is like some team bringing Slava Medvedenko in for like veteran leadership when he had almost nothing to do with those championships. But I will say this though, Slava Medvedenko, like actually being a positive, like I think he's Ukrainian, so
Yes.
like he donated his championship ring to the Ukrainian defense efforts, and
very nice.
And then shouts to the Lakers actually on this front, because they actually made another ring and gave it to him again. So like kind of a cool story there. Like he was fine. He was I wouldn't consider him a very big part of the 3-peat era, but like he was he's great name to say out loud, funny trivia guy to all that, and look, like he's immortalized by the Cambros blog Searching for Slava, which was way back in the day.
He gets brought up in a ton of places, and I will say he played 71 games in their second 3-peat run, and then so I mean, like he was a part of the rotation. It's not like he was an end of the bench guy. But yeah, always funny to see these names in like Laker lore that were kind of
because like you needed a power forward who could space the floor a little bit, especially by like those days standards. So like you always had like the Lakers had Horace Grant, and then you had Robert Horry, you had AC Green, you had Slava Medvedenko. So like you had Shaq, who was obviously like the hub or the fulcrum of the triangle and stuff. But then you also needed somebody who could operate out of the elbow and some like the nail and up a little bit higher, and those guys like Slava helped with some of that stuff. But yeah, it was he wasn't Mozgov. Like Julius is saying, he was a Mozgov. Like Mozgov was, for one thing, bigger. I think he was like a legit 7'1", 7'2", maybe, and was a lot more physical than Medvedenko. But yeah, he was
Mozgov isn't as immortalized over here.
Every time I think of Timothy Mozgov, Timofey Mozgov, well, Two reasons. Because back then there was the era of like the terrible photoshops instead of like the memes that exist today. It was terrible photoshops. So I made a Tina Fey Mozgov Photoshop once at one point. And then the other reason is because he got hit in the face like once a game for the Lakers.
He was also like the first ever like name that became a verb, right? It was like you got Mozgoved. It was like an actual like like
Yep. Oh, Mozzie. All right, that is going to do it here for this episode. That was
Former
so
Nugget too, I
unfortunate
think.
because he actually like pushed Blake up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Blake Griffin was already going to dunk on him really mean, and then like because of the contact, it was like whoosh. He like pushed him upward, and then man. But all right, that is going to do it here though for this episode of the Lakers Lounge podcast. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Please hit that rate button, please hit that like button, please hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications for the show as well. And until the next time you guys hear from us, which will be tomorrow, Harrison and I are going to be recording together. Have a great rest of your nights. Make somebody else's, and we will talk to you then. Have a good one, everybody. Shouts to Medvedenko. What a fun name.